it is it is on the children of the world, meaning it's the responsibility now of the children in the world to solve all of the world's problems because the adults have failed terribly. Um, Adults have made a big mess of the planet, and it is now up to the young people to try and fix and solve all of the problems before the adults destroy everything. Um, the Ukraine being a classic example of that. It's not children that have caused any of the problems. It's adults, and um, people forget that. Let me give you a 1 minute philosophy on this, because this matters because it's something which affects people's business and work and personal life at the same time because everything is connected. Um, the problem is never the problem, and this is this is a it, it it's a religious psychological philosophy, but I discovered it in Pirates of the Caribbean. If you know the film, the original Pirates of the Caribbean film with Johnny Depp, and it's sort of that classic pirate film that everybody loves because everybody loves Johnny Depp, um, except Amber Heard. She doesn't like him very much, but everybody else loves him. And so Johnny Depp plays the drunken pirate who's got a London accent. He talks like he's from London for some reason, because people from London talk like this. And um, he says in the film that there's that accent again. He talks like he's from London. Right, he says the problem is not the problem. The problem is your thinking about the problem that is the problem. And it's very correct as a philosophy that the problem is never the problem. The problem is always how you are thinking about the problem, which is really the emotions that you attach to a problem. Yeah, you and your boyfriend can be like, rah, rah, and somebody else will be standing there going like, what are they talking about? Why are they arguing? What is the point? Right? Um, the 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 ability to step outside of yourself and see things from outside the box, um, disconnecting ourselves from emotionally from what is happening is a great way to solve problems, as is to understand that everything began somewhere else. Everything we see is the end of something, and that everything that brought us to where we are, well, the beginning of that was at another place, in another time. Um, in our lives, in our journeys, and in the journeys of people who came before us. And um, like I also told my children, your mistakes are my mistakes. Yeah, that it's just like your success in essence is a little bit of my success, and that I told my children, you represent me wherever you go. Yeah, wherever you go, wherever you do, you represent me. You don't represent your school. You don't represent um, whatever shirt you're wearing, whatever team you're playing. You don't represent them. You represent me. And you set a good example by that. Because at the end of the day, the parents are fully and completely responsible for all of the problems in their children's lives. And then people will say, oh, children are difficult. No, no, they're not. they're they're just trying to survive in the madness that we have put them in, basically. Um, and so the problem is not the problem because it always started and began somewhere else with something else. And if we can remember that, it usually helps to keep us cool. But the things that we love, we're emotionally connected to them really strongly. And it's hard to disconnect from that. Very, very hard. That's why a lot of people can't take criticism. And love and hate, of course, are two sides of the same coin. The whole universe functions in opposites. Up and down, left and right, black and white, male and female. There's only two, right? There's not any weird mix of something else. It's just nonsense, right? Um, yin and yang of whatever. These these contradictions, these opposites. The world functions like that. It can't function any other way. As there is nothing or no thing, there is also something. And therefore love and hate are two sides of the same coin. We hate things because we love things. You know, we perhaps we hate somebody because we always hate something because we love something else. It's like you can hate somebody because you love something and think that they should be connected to that something or part of that something, and because they're not, you hate them. I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just saying how we are as human beings. And it's really, really hard. And I think as long as we remember that that everything is a duality, that we can try to remain in control of things. And don't ever keep any secrets. Secrets are poison to every relationship. Just the obvious things to people over time. Things just don't. There is no such thing as a good secret or safe secret or something like that. You know, with the exception of like a surprise birthday party for somebody, or those, a nice gift or something. But those things are poison to all relationships. So it's interesting. I've been going through Proverbs in the Bible for the last 3 weeks. I spent 3 weeks reading through it, and every time I read through it, and I'm like, that is so true, and that is so correct, and I did not do that. And so it's quite enlightening to look at the old ways of doing things, because I can't help thinking sometimes that some things were better. Not everything, but that some things were better in the way that people treated and respected each other in the past. Have you ever seen old photos of how people dressed like 100 years ago when they went out, like old pictures from Paris or somewhere in Germany or whatever? Everyone's always really, really smartly dressed. They all got their suits on and their shirts on and their ties, and the women have got these long dresses and these big hats, and they're all looking really, really, really nice. And then you look at people today with their baggy clothes and their tattoos, and they all look like they should be in prison. Not that that's a bad thing. I've got friends who are bikers with lots of tattoos, and they're just bikers, and that's it. But it's really interesting.
Yeah.